Hello, my name is Casey Kelly and I'm the Rocketpreneur. Listen, I'm here to help you make, manage, and maintain your money through a spiritual and financial growth mindset. I became a biblical millionaire by 29 years old, and I'm here to help you do the same. Good morning. Just gonna wait for a second, couple of you to get on here. Welcome this morning to the Rocket Preacher Weekly Business Sermon. Listen, every single Friday, right around 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, I try and go live and share with you business and life principles that I learned in the trenches over 7 years of growing a company from nothing into tens of millions of dollars in sales. Just about 2 months ago, I was able to sell that company and harvest that and learn a lot of lessons. So I completed the entire life cycle of a business, right? When a company starts, that is the initial phase within any good business. It starts with a foundation and then it grows into maturity and then eventually institutionalization, right? And so I've got this program called 7 Pillars of Business that you must master to survive. We're working on a training course right now. I'm super excited to bring it to you. I've probably spent 30 hours working on it, and I'm really excited to bring it to you because I believe it's going to bring you a lot of benefit and a lot of good. However, in the meantime, if you check out rocketpreneur.com, I'll put a link above, you can check it out. You can actually get the 7 Pillars of Business within a brochure, so you can learn a little bit more about these pillars and principles before the full course comes out to teach you. But it's all the things I learned in 7 years and over $300,000 invested in becoming more and growing. So anyways, this morning, I am in an amazing hotel. I got blessed last night, and that's going to play right into the story today of exactly why we're here today. The topic of today's weekly business sermon that I want to share with you is the Rocket Preacher, a passionate dude who tries to keep faith in business. I want to live out my faith and live out my life in business in such a way like my life matters, like your life matters, and you can be bold publicly about what you believe and what you stand for and not compromise your values and morals simply because the world tells you to. So listen, today's topic today is going to be, if you start with nothing, then you have nothing to lose. I'm going to say it again. If you start with nothing, then you have nothing to lose. Why is that important? Well, it's important because so many people come to me and say, Casey, I don't have enough money. Casey, I don't have enough resources. I don't have enough mentors. Like, I don't know how to start a business. I don't know how to nail a business. I don't know how to scale a business. I did not either, right? So join the club. 7 years ago, I'd worked about 100 jobs in my life, right? I had friends, great friends, that used to say to me, Casey, I challenge you just to keep a job for 3 to 5 months. Try to just be faithful with that and see what happens. And you know, it was a very powerful thing because I used to become convicted by that because I was like, what do you mean? I'm not committal. You know, I'm not good enough. I can't keep a job. And what I realized as I look back and reflect, it wasn't that I wasn't committal at sometimes. It was that I would rise so quickly in a job from nothing oftentimes, coming into the lowest position to the higher ranks, but I would often then become mentally and emotionally limited and I'd want another adventure. I want something else, want to create. Now that's me, that's my wiring. But I share that because so many people tell me they can't start a company and succeed. And I got to tell you, I think that's bullcrap. Just being frank. I want to suspend your belief for a second. I want to create disbelief in your mind and say, well, maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe that which I think about being a leader or a guy who could be an entrepreneur or a girl who could start something is maybe wrong how I think today if you believe that you could not create something that could change and revolutionize lives and make money, right? So if you start with nothing, so let's just start there. I grew up in a home with a very loving mother and father. They loved me very much. My dad chose to make some pretty poor decisions in his life between drugs and chaos and sleeping with other women. And so that led to a really destructive cycle in my mother and father's marriage. Now, I'm not here to talk crap. That's not my intention about my family and my life. I'm here to be vulnerable and honest with you to say, my parents really kind of had nothing. You know, my mom left school very early in her high school years to be able to pursue taking care of me, her young, baby. My mom had me when she was just over 16 years old. And I share that with you because she had nothing. My mom foundationally literally had nothing more than a backpack on her back with some clothes as she had me in California. And so here's my mom and I like to say it's me and her against the world as this young, infant. And she has nothing. Yet my mom begins to cultivate this idea that she can be anything she wants to be if she just takes action. And so as a young boy, I would often hear my mom say, you need to think smarter and work harder in your mind, not just with your body. You need to outthink everybody in the room. You have to believe what you believe is really real. I used to hear my mom say to me, Casey, you can be anything that you want to be. And when you stop believing that, that's when you're going to fail. And so here's this woman who literally has nothing, right? Nothing more than a backpack on her back, almost 17 years old. She's got this little tiny infant, me, and she's trying to figure out how to brave this big world as a single mother, right? And so here we are moving from California to Utah and the dynamics of chaos. But my mom knew how important it was to have grit and to work. She still does. Grit, hard work, determination, and not let the world tell you what you can be. She used to tell me all the time, you're a silk man, you're a man. My grandma would say that to me all the time as well. Like, Casey, you want fine things and you deserve fine things. And so growing up, I began to hear this meditation over and over again of these few things that I've already said to you. 1, I could be anything I want to be. 2, nothing is too broad or too big for me. 3, if I'm willing to put in the work, I can accomplish any goal that I set before me. And so here I am trying to believe these truths while watching a mother live that out. My mom didn't really even have a high school diploma. She later got that taken care of, but she did not have that. Gets a job, ends up working with all of her heart and all of her might inside of this company. And she grows literally from this lowly customer service rep all the way to an executive in a partners department. Now, the Bible says in Ecclesiastes that we either need to sharpen the axe through education or we need to wield it harder, meaning we get stronger. So when we go to chop down a tree, we either need to have a sharper axe, just like Abe Lincoln would tell us. He says, I spend 15 minutes cutting down a tree, 10 minutes to sharpen it, and 5 minutes to cut it down. Me, I just hacked for 15 minutes. That was usually my attitude and behavior, and just swung until my muscles were so tired that I had all that's left in me to knock down the tree. Now again, there's a balance in that, and I think it's important to look at because I actually think that we all come to this world with nothing. Think about it. No different than my mom, no different than my early birth as an infant. What did you come into this world with? What did you come into the world with? Did you have cars? Did you have stuff? Did you have money? Did you have glory? Did you have a house? Your parents may have had those things. They may have been providing for you or sheltering you in those ways. But you came into this world with nothing. And the Bible says you're going to leave with nothing. That from dust we were born and to dust we will return. So if that's true, if that's really real, why do we worry so much about the material today? Why do we care about the stuff? I mean, I'll be honest with you. I am so thankful that I got this presidential suite. It's almost 3,000 square feet. Two bathrooms. I don't even need that. Giant king bed. I slept better than I slept all week. I've been sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night because travel's always hard. But listen, I came into this world with nothing, and today I was dramatically blessed with something. And are we going to rejoice when the something comes and be thankful for it? Are we just going to cower back into our shells? And I struggle with that personally, to be honest with you. And so here's a couple things, practical things I want you to think about. If you came into the world with nothing and you're going to leave with nothing, then you technically have nothing to lose while you live this life, except for your soul. If you're not a Christian, that's a major topic I would love to talk to you about offline more and more, because this is not a talk about that. But there is something more to live for, which is God and heaven and faith. And that's why I keep faith in business, because it is my foundation. But if you came to this world with nothing, then why are you so afraid to take action to go get what you want? If you have not heard this in your life before, I'm going to look you right now in the eyes and say, you can be anything you want to be. Thanks, Mom. You can have anything that you want in your life. All things are permissible, but not all things are beneficial, is what the Apostle Paul said. So just because you can have something doesn't mean you should, okay? So think about that too. Just because you can conquer or accomplish or have the big house, the cars, the stuff, the glory, the fame, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe we shouldn't, right? So we have to be wise and we have to get counsel. But there are a few practical tips on how to get something in your life, if you're willing to listen, from nothing. First step, you have to change your mindset. That's going to be the first step. You have to change your mind around the idea that you can do anything, okay? I'm not saying that you don't have limitations. I'm not saying that you may not be handicapped in some area. I'm not saying you won't be limited by other things, and I'm not saying that someone else may not be better than you at some things, but I am going to say, if you start to believe in your mind, as the Bible says in Romans 12, that we need to take every thought captive for Christ, right? We got to take our thoughts captive, that if we believe, we start to achieve. And this isn't name it, claim it ideas like, I believe, so I'm going to do it. It's real. Our brains are so powerful. They affect the chemistry of our body. I can't tell you how many times I felt fat or overweight or insecure, and I start living there. I'm like, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm stupid. And I start stewing. But the moment I get out of it and I come out above the clouds and I can see the world, I start to go, those were all lies from the pit. And I was living that. So step 1, change your mind. Step 2, once you have changed your mindset, you have to change your behaviors, okay? You have to start to change your routines, your habits, and your ideas. So if you have nothing, which we all came to this world with nothing, so you have no excuse, and you want to build it into something, you change your mind, and then you start changing your behaviors and your routines. Let me ask you something. Do you get up at the same time every day, no matter the time zone? Now, I'm not perfect at this, but I was up at 4:30 a.m. yesterday because that was within the time range of what I wanted to get up. And I was exhausted by the time 10 o'clock hit here, right? My body clock is all jacked up. I've traveled 14 states in 3 weeks, okay? And that's a lot of traveling, a lot of chaos, but I have fought hard to maintain that. Number 2, do you go to bed and do you do the same routines each night? Do you brush your teeth? Do you put your clothes out in the morning? When you wake up in the morning, do you make your bed? I woke up this morning, I made my bed in a hotel. Some people think I'm crazy because they're like, why did you make the hotel bed? You're stupid. Don't you know that's what they get paid to do? Like you just made that bed. They're going to rip all the linens off anyways. It's not for them. I don't make the bed for the freaking hotel staff. I make the bed because I'm trying to develop and cultivate routines, habits, and disciplines. This third step that you need to do once you've changed your mind and you start to develop a routine, you need to get accountability, right? So you need to start talking to other people that want to help you, want to invest in you. I'm one of those people who want to help you and want to see you thrive. But you have to start talking, sharing, and being open and honest. And the worst thing that you and I can do, and I fall in this trap too, so I'm not blameless, is not be honest with someone else about what's really going on in our hearts. Listen, I want to challenge you today. If no one has ever asked you this question, I will right now. What's on your heart today? What do you feel? Because until you start feeling and you start really getting to the heart of it, you cannot move forward. We've talked about this a little bit before, but the idea is you first change your mind, and then the action is fueled with your heart. It is rocket fuel. Your mind is the engine. It builds the idea. It's the rocket ship. And behind it is this rocket fuel, which is your heart, your emotion, your passion, your zeal, while the mind controls it and says, no, don't do that. Don't feel that. Why am I here? And it fights it backwards. Now, I don't want to be long-winded and crazy, but those are the 3 practical things I want to teach you today. That if you start with nothing like we all do, we all have nothing, we come into this world, then we have nothing to lose if we try. So when we fail, failure then becomes nothing more than a step to success. I know this sounds so cliche. I hate hearing that growing up. I really did in some ways. Well, just fail some more. The best way to learn is to fail. I've recently, in my last couple of years, been internalizing the idea that until I fail, I'm never going to truly have success. So listen, today I'm going to challenge you. Be more, do more, and believe more. First, in your mind, resolve right now, in this moment. I can do anything I want to do. Step 2, you need to start to take action through your routines. Put bite 3 things. Change 3 small things in your life over the next month. Just 3 things. I'll suggest 3. 1, make your bed every day. Step 2, before you go to bed, brush your teeth. Step 3, every single morning, read a book. Any form of book. I like to read my Bible every morning because it refreshes my heart. I like to go on a walk every single day. You might want to go out and prayer walk. You might want to go out and just walk, get outside. I was out in freezing cold weather in Flagstaff, but it was totally worth it. It was worth it because I got to see things I would have never seen had I not stepped out the door. And step 3, you need to get accountability. Listen, we got a private Facebook group. We call it Building Spiritual and Financial Biblical Riches. That's the goal. It's biblical riches. My whole goal is to teach you how to be spiritually strong, but also financially strong. Because I believe that if you get your money right, it will feed the other areas of your life. When you start to understand what money is, how you make it, manage it, and maintain it, it will affect how you live out physically. It'll help your health. It'll help your family. It'll help your relationships. Because money is the number 1-sided reason for divorce in relationships. Money is the number 1 reason people fight. So if we can fix people's mindset on money, I think we can start to fix their lives. So listen, my name is Casey Kelly. I'm the Rocketpreneur. Some people call me the Rocket Preacher. My goal is here to keep faith in business and help change your life. We've got a private Facebook group. I'm going to put it in the link above or below so that you can click on it if you'd like to be a part of it. There's a couple questions that just kind of throttle you to come in. But I would love to have you come inside of that group. We're just starting to put things together for that group. We've got a book launching. We've got some music going. I've got a record I've been working really hard on with a couple friends to memorialize some of my life and share some goodness. But I'm here to help you. So if you have questions, you have concerns, if you need prayer, I would love to pray for you. If you need encouragement, I would love to light you up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Boom, 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 boom. What's up? What's up? Oh, by the way, check out this cool room. Oh my gosh. Crazy room. Okay.